My name is Dan Foley. I'm an associate judge with the Intermediate Court of Appeals. When I think of law, I think of justice, because what is law without justice? And when I think of justice, I think of Justice Thurgood Marshall, the first African American to sit on the United States Supreme Court. And I think his story is very relevant to what justice is and what we're trying to do here in Hawaii. Thurgood was a very bright and precocious student, did well in high school and college, and applied to the University of Maryland School of Law. He was denied admission because he was an African American. So he went to Washington, D.C., Howard University. Shortly after graduation, one of his first lawsuits was against the University of Maryland on behalf of an African American who was denied admission, and he won. And he spent the next decades of his life as a lawyer for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, fighting segregation in the courts, representing African Americans that were not given fair trials before all-white juries and judges. And it culminated in the decision of Brown versus Board of Education, which ended at least legal segregation in the United States. So no one stood more in my eyes for access to justice for all Americans than Thurgood Marshall. In the area of criminal law, you're entitled to a lawyer, regardless of your income, public defender or court appointed. But the area of civil law, you are not. We had a study a number of years ago where it indicated only 1 in 5 citizens of Hawaii have their civil needs met. Only 1 in 3 that go to nonprofit legal service providers like the Legal Aid Society of Hawaii can be helped because of their limited resources. So 5 years ago, the Hawaii Supreme Court created the Access to Justice Commission. It's composed of members of the state bar, the judiciary, nonprofit legal service providers, the law school, the Hawaii Justice Foundation, paralegals, community leaders. And it's been the goal of that commission to reduce the barriers of access to justice and to give low income and moderate income people greater access to justice. What's been accomplished in the last 5 years is quite remarkable. We have regular roundtables to reduce language and cultural barriers that prohibit people from having easy access to the court, bringing all the players that deal with the immigrant community together. The inclusion of access to justice in the continuing legal education program of the bar has directed many lawyers to our access to justice programs. The Supreme Court, which has been a leader in this movement of access to justice, has created incentives for attorneys to contribute funds to nonprofit legal service providers, to allow attorneys to provide limited pro bono legal services without fear of conflict with their clients at their law firms, and have provided for undistributed awards and class action lawsuits to go to nonprofit legal service providers. And lastly, one of the most successful initiatives of the Commission that really shows how the Commission works is self-help centers. What's a self-help center? Well, it's basically at the courthouse. You show up, you don't have a lawyer, you have a pending civil matter, you don't know what to do, you need some help. They have a lawyer there, a lawyer of the bar doing pro bono that will give you, depending on the center, either legal information or legal advice and help you navigate the court system. The feedback we've gotten so far is tremendous. We have self-help centers now in Kauai, Maui, the district and family courts on Oahu, the courts on Hilo. The goal is, with the support and leadership of our Chief Justice, is to have a self-help center at every court in the state with an online component. And I don't think you can say more about this one particular program, because if you don't have a lawyer, the court system can be very intimidating. I can tell you, I've never seen such momentum in this state than in the last 5 years to assist those that cannot afford a lawyer in civil matters. And I take my hat off to the Chief Justice, that is leading this, to the bar that is just putting in countless hours, to the district, family, and circuit court judges. They're working very hard to accommodate pro se litigants. And I think Hawaii can be very proud of creating greater access to justice for its citizens in civil matters.